June 5th is celebrated every year as the World Environment Day. It has been so ever since 1974. The World Environment Day is actually a celebration, and also it's a day for creating awareness among the local communities, the ordinary people, regarding the importance of nature and preserving our ecosystem and the environment. Now, this year is no different, except for the fact that the main theme that has been identified is the restoration of ecosystems. And in fact, the UNDP has stated that this will be a decade-long celebration focusing on this theme, which is perhaps the most important issue that is facing our mankind. Now, after the pandemic, especially, which is still ongoing, there has been an increase in the amount of plastic waste that has been generated, the PPE kits and the mask and all that. Now, the world over, the economy has suffered from the pandemic effects. Nearly 10% of the global output has been affected due to the pandemic, and so that has adversely impacted the investments in the educational, health, and other service sectors. So we have to recognize this fact, and in the process the ecosystem has also suffered. Now, restoration of ecosystem essentially means the trying to restore degraded ecosystems or ecosystems that are in the process of degradation. In Kerala, as far as Kerala is concerned, three important areas have been identified. One is a restoration of mangrove ecosystem. Mangroves, as you know, that's an important barrier along the coastline, which protects the coastal inhabitants from the adverse effect of sea erosion, tropical cyclones, and in the aftermath flooding and all sorts of adverse effects. So that is one area that has been identified. Our mangrove ecosystem right now in Kerala is only 9 square kilometers, and over a 2-year period there is an active proposal under the Rebuilding Kerala Initiative Development to bring it to nearly double, 20 square kilometers. So that is one area. The second area is the restoration of shola forests and the grasslands. These areas are the hydrological watersheds. Most of the rivers originate from this shola grasslands. But over the years, due to bad planning, we have encouraged plantations of eucalyptus and wattles, acacia, like Acacia auriculiformis, Acacia mianzi, Acacia dialbeta, replacing the natural ecosystems in the shola vegetation area. So now we are thinking of putting it back to, restoring it back to the shola vegetation by removing the these kind of vegetation that has been inadvertently introduced, like eucalyptus and wattles. The third, over the period of years, we have suffered at least a 10% loss in biodiversity. Kerala happens to be one of the richest biodiverse states because it is in the Western Ghats. It is the biodiversity hotspot, and many critically endangered plants have been identified, which are in the red listed list of the IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature. So this year we are targeting some of these critically endangered species listed in IUCN and restoring it back in the native habitats. So that is the third issue. Now, currently, if you look at it globally, there are many serious issues that are facing the environment. The adverse effect of global warming, CO2, increase in CO2 levels in the atmosphere, that has caused irreversible changes especially in the way even our climate, the tropical, even the monsoons, the intensity of storms, monsoons get delayed. The tropical storms, which usually originate in the Arabian Sea during the summer months, now you can uh, no, which are normally seen in the Bay of Bengal. Now we can find that there is increasing incidence of tropical cyclones and storms originating in the Arabian Sea. We had cyclone uh, Oki couple of years back, and now this Tokati that has lashed Kerala coast this year. So it is predicted that due to this climate change, due to increasing CO2 levels, the intensity and severity of storms will only increase, and that Kerala being a largely coastline state with 620 kilometer length of coastline will have to bear the brunt of this. The other thing is that our current methods of waste disposal, polluting water bodies, that is all causing a lot of adverse impacts. Yesterday, I was in a landfill area in Vadakkancheri, and we have a massive, ambitious program to restore that landfill site by planting bamboos as a bio remediation measure. So, like this, we had to take up various sites which are degraded due to our own human interventions, our overconsumption and our faulty, what I would say, unthoughtful, unsustainable planning and disposal of our waste. As you all know that plastic, 10% of the whatever waste that you find is plastic, and it has this habit of coming back to haunt us in our lifetime. After the cyclone, you would have seen that we have seen pictures in the newspapers that most of the plastic that we have dumped in our streams and water bodies, we thought that that was the end of it, but the oceans have restored it back to our sea coast. So now we have to deal with that. What we thought was buried and forgotten has now come back to haunt us. And also, the marine aquatic life are also affected. And when we consume the aquatic organisms, fishes and all that, these plastics that are there in the ocean, they degrade, and microplastics are even found in the flesh of this aquatic life, and we consume them, and these are carcinogens essentially. So we are adversely, so this has an adverse impact on our health and lifestyle. So this is one thing that as youngsters you need to think about it. So what do you do actually? So what is the message that I can give you? If you cannot reuse it, anything, just refuse it. First reduce, reuse and recycle should be the motto that you should always bear in mind on this, especially on this occasion, on June 5th, World Environment Day. Then only you can contribute to this. And also you should need to, you can also contribute to saving the environment in your own little ways. For example, in your school you could have a butterfly garden where putting together a few important species which are encouraged, which can encourage the biodiversity of that area, and also help in restoring the ecosystem. And another way is to plant trees. Another simple way of restoring ecosystem is just by planting trees. Each of you, if you are able to plant 1 or 2 species, and not only planting, you should nurture them for 2-3 years so that they establish into saplings and will be there for posterity. And also waste segregation is another thing that I would really exhort you to do, that segregating waste at least into 3 ways. One is that plastic waste to be segregated separately, which could be reused or recycled. Then your kitchen waste, whatever the discard your food and all that, whatever leftovers can be composted and put back in your home gardens, used as manure. And the third is that which are toxic waste, your batteries and all that. That has to be, electronic waste should be separately disposed and not thrown haphazardly into your living environment. So, and you should also, if your Also encourage your parents to do this and to if it is not done already. So you should take it up as an example and practicing, contributing towards saving the environment. That would be your singular contribution for ecosystem restoration. Thank you.
Good morning to everyone. As you all know, June 5th is celebrated as World Environment Day. On the grounds of pandemic situation, all are forced to remain at home. Hence, we are bound to celebrate Environment Day digitally. Environment means any surrounding or condition in which a person or animal or plant lives. The day is celebrated to spread awareness about safety of environment. In other words, it is a day to make people aware of the damages they cause in environment. Do you know the first Environment Day was celebrated in 1974 with the theme of Only One Earth. With the every year the Environment Day is celebrated with a new theme assigned by UN. This year's theme is ecosystem restoration. Issues such as pollution, biodiversity, global warming are the main focus on this year. Human life is highly dependent on environment. So, we, St. Anton Vidyapeedom, humbly request each and everyone to participate in events by planting trees, reducing plastic in your own capacity. Even a simple message forwarded by you on social media platforms may change at least a couple of minds. Happy Environment Day. Thank you.
Good morning to all. I'm Daniel Shadi of 3rd B. We celebrate World Environment Day on June 5th. Trees give us life. So,